What is going on, everybody? As you can see in front of you, Sprint 2 is on the deck. It might be the last time I make a video of it. I am going to be pulling electronics off. I've got some warranty stuff out, and I'm tired of waiting on another chassis via that I'm ready to run. And so I will be pulling the speed controller off to put on that as a backup. I might get it put back on down the road. I might not. Might retire the Sprint. Might just run my two YD2s I have built now, and still be able to talk Sprint, help in any way that I can, do this and that. The chassis will still be built complete, just not with electronics on it. So any advice that I can give, I still will give, of course. And you never know. I might put the thing back together and back together better. You never know. The only thing on this chassis that I wanted to change was the Yeah Racing decks at some point now. I had the Exotech that I love, but I am a Yeah Racing dealer, so it just seemed practical to have those decks on here at some point if I kept it, which I'll never sell this chassis, so at some point I will get those decks on here. But this is it, guys. This is the full custom Sprint 2 by Orion RC, Aubrey Smith, that is me. Custom cut carbon fiber high mount that I built. See if I can't get it to focus right. Of course, it's not a perfect cut, but it works beautifully with this setup. And Yeah Racing does have the orange aluminum ones that you can get a hold of, and they are fairly cheap. I think I got them for like $12 to $14 plus shipping, so get in touch with me. Other than that, let's go through some tune spots that I've got set up on the chassis. Some stuff that I did. I just ran this for about 3 weeks before I got my black YD2 put together. It hadn't ran in a while because I was running my blue YD2, but the blue YD2 had an electronic issue. So I decided to bring this Sprint back out while I was building the black YD2 and totally changed some things up, and was really happy with the way I got this chassis to run. A lot of it was changing the gearing for the carpet track that we run. Getting it at a FDR and a ratio that would break the tires loose low and let the speed controller and everything still initiate good power to get you sideways and hold angle while not having a lot of high RPM, because I am running a 17 tooth. 84 and 17 is where I ended at, but the thing runs butter. I would not change it ever again. So, alright, let's go over the front. I do have 105 grams on the front of this chassis. It's what I enjoy running it with on this track that we have. It slows it down enough to be competitive. So that is where I have left it. That is where I will leave it. Alright. I have Yokomo custom shocks made by Anthony Lim of Vertex Hobbies over in California. Custom interiors, blue O-rings. The bladders are different. The piston's different. It's a really quality set of dampers that I've really enjoyed. I'm running DS Racing rear-wheel drive 1 viscosity shock oil in the front. I mean, guys, when I say 1, I mean 1. Complete butter. You can actually push the rear and get front lift, man. That's how soft this front setup is. I don't even think my other Tamiya TRFs and whatnot are running this good. These are amazing dampers. I might end up pulling these dampers too to put on the black chassis. I mean, they are just, they've held for a month now, no problems. Love it. So that's what I'm running, guys. It is a 6-hole 1.2 mil, I believe, setup on the piston. With, again, 1 viscosity shock oil on I actually have a medium spring. It's still super soft, as you can see, but it's because the weight that I had to add a little bit of a stronger spring, if you will, a little bit of a harder spring to help with that rebound because of the weight. So front ride height is at 7. Rear ride height is at 5. Alright, my rear camber is at 6. My front camber is at 7. And then my caster is at 8 degrees. I'm at 8 degrees at caster, and that helps give you that flat leading tire. Alright, so 8 degrees at caster, and you measure that from lower to upper arm right here to down there. You get your caster adjustment, and that helps you with having a flat. You want your tire to be flat facing tire when it's at full lock. That leading tire needs to be sitting flat on the ground to help guide the car correctly, guys. Okay, caster is important. What else? My gearing, again, 84 and 17. Rear dampers, nothing extra, nothing special. It's just the basic 4-hole, 1.2 mil drilled holes with a very hard short spring on there with a 40 weight inside of there. This thing does not move in the rear. It is designed to brake traction and really not get any grip on throttle. We run a short course carpet track, and we're trying to just stay loose. So I learned that running a super stiff rear end helps with my track. It might not be a good preference for other people, but it's what works for us. So, all right. Trying to think if there's anything else tune-wise that would be beneficial to you guys before I possibly rip this thing down for good. It's been a really good chassis. I've had it for a couple of years, honestly. 2017 was the main year for this chassis to really start hitting the track and running a really smooth line, running a really good tandem line, an amazing follow line. The guys that I run with would even say it's not a Sprint 2. There isn't a part on it that's a Sprint 2. This is a custom-made chassis that just looks like a Sprint design, which is kind of funny, but the basis of it is a Sprint 2. Electronics are where they would be in a Sprint 2. Battery is where it would be in a Sprint 2. And when you think about it, when you look at a Sprint 2 and a D4, there are no big variations and changes in those two chassis but how they did their bulkheads and arms. For the most part, all your electronic placements are in the exact same position. So think about that, guys, when y'all start talking smack about a Sprint 2 or a D4, because they're kind of about the same kind of chassis via that side of things. So you're probably listening to my little kid scream in the background. I think she didn't get her princess that she wanted. I apologize for that. Other than that, guys, Toro 120 amp speed controller. I've got the boost set up at 10 right now. Oniseki 10.5 turn motor that I was extremely happy with, had no issues with, and my Gildan 1 D-like gyro that is amazing. The Como and D-like gyros, they're good gyros, guys. Don't get me wrong, man. You know, you pay a little bit more money, but that's quality stuff. You know, you start doing this long enough, you realize that you sometimes paying a little bit more is a good thing. You're not having to replace and repair all the time. So, I don't know if there's much out that needs to be done. A little custom tensioning setup that was faced the other direction at one point. I think that's it, guys. This is where my knuckles points are hooked up at, if that helps anybody. I'm at the far holes on each one. Alright, and my track width. Yes, we will do track width before I end this video. I have a very wide track width, guys. Okay, let's get this centered out. Sorry. I don't like my tripod setup, so I don't use that. So if it's a little wobbly, I do apologize. So track width is, golly, guys, it's off the scale. I think I'm running about 222 millimeter track width in the front, and then 218 in the rear. So that's the track width on my car. I just realized that my rear end looks like it needs to go in a little bit. I like to be 220, 214. So that's something that if I run it again, I might shorten up that rear end. That might help me a little bit with breaking loose even more. So guys, I'm going to end this video right around 10 minutes. It's already longer than it needed to be. I do appreciate everybody's support. This is the Sprint 2. It's signing off. You might not see it run the track again for a while. 2018 YD2 sessions for days. Again, I appreciate it, everybody. Orion RC out.